Hello everyone. Topic for today's discussion is signal design for band limited channels. Under this, we will discuss about intersymbol interference, then eye diagram and its interpretation, and design of band limited signals for zero ISI. Statement of the Nyquist criterion. Okay, first consider the intersymbol interference ISI. If the spreading of pulse is greater than symbol duration, then adjacent pulses will interfere. So that means this intersymbol interference occurs when a pulse spread out in such a way that it interferes with the adjacent pulses at the sample instant. So here transmitted waveform and pulse dispersions are shown. So the line coding for sequence 1011 is transmitted through a band limited channel, and because of pulse dispersion, the tail of smeared pulse enters into adjacent symbol interval. So as you can see here, the pulse shape is changed and it is smeared. The tail of that smeared pulse, it enters into the adjacent symbol. So because of this, there is a distortion which is called as intersymbol interference. Okay, in the last session, we have considered a digital pulse amplitude modulated system, and the output of transmitting filter in that digital PAM system can be written as V of t equal to summation n equal to minus infinity to plus infinity a n into gt of t minus nt. Here gt of t is the impulse response of the transmitting filter, and this signal is applied to the band limited channel, and the channel output is input to the demodulator, and the received signal at the demodulator can be written as r of t equal to summation n equal to minus infinity to plus infinity a m into h of t minus n t plus n of t. Here n of t represents a sample function of AWGN noise, and h of t equal to c of t convolution with gt of t. Here this c of t, it represents the impulse response of the band limited channel. Okay, so far we have discussed about intersymbol interference, and we have defined the transmitted signal of digital PAM system, and also we have defined the received signal at the input of the demodulator. With this introduction, next we will start with the topic signal design for band limited channels. So in the last slide, we have represented h of t as convolution of channel impulse response c of t and transmitting filter impulse response gt of t. In the frequency domain, we can represent it as h of f equal to c of f into gt of f. Next, we will see the problem of designing a band limited transmitting filter. The condition for distortion free transmission is that the frequency response characteristic c of f of the channel have a constant magnitude and a linear phase over the bandwidth of the transmitted signal. That means the condition for distortion free transmission is c of f should have a constant magnitude and a linear phase over the signal bandwidth. So we can write c of f equal to c naught into e to the power minus j2 pi f t naught when frequency is inside the bandwidth, and if frequency is greater than w hertz, then c of f equal to 0, where w is the channel bandwidth. So here this c naught is constant gain factor and t naught is a finite amount of delay, and it is an arbitrary value. Okay, actually to understand the topic, the concepts which we have discussed in the last session are very important. So please go through it. Okay, next take delay t naught equal to 0 and constant gain factor c naught equal to 1. Now, we can write c of f equal to 1 into e to the power minus j 2 pi f into 0, or c of f equal to 1. Therefore, for a distortion free channel, c of f equal to 1 if frequency is within the bandwidth, and if frequency is greater than w hertz, then c of f is 0. Next, previously we have written h of f equal to gt of f into c of f, but now h of f is reduced to gt of f. Next, for a matched filter, we have frequency response gr of f equal to h star of f exponential minus j 2 pi f t naught. This we have discussed in the last session, and since t naught is 0 here, exponential term will be reduced to 1. Therefore, we can write gr of f equal to complex conjugate of h of f. So, we can write gr of f equal to gt star of f. Therefore, for a distortion free channel, the frequency response of the matched filter equal to complex conjugate of frequency response of the transmitting filter. This point is very important here. So, here our aim is to eliminate or reduce the effect of ISI. Therefore, consider the matched filter output at the periodic sampling times t equal to mt. We can write it as ym equal to summation n equal to minus infinity to plus infinity a n x m minus n plus w m. This can be written as x naught into a m plus summation n not equal to m a n x m minus n plus w m. So, here first term represents the component generated because of the actual data which we have transmitted, and the second term it represents the effect of ISI, and the last term it is because of the noise effect. So, here our aim is to either eliminate or to reduce the effect of noise. Okay, next consider the eye pattern or eye diagram. This eye pattern is useful for the experimental study of digital communication system, and it can be viewed on an oscilloscope. And this pattern or diagram, it gives information about the characteristics of the data transmission system. And here one example is given. Consider the distorted waveform shown in part A of the figure. So, here 10-bit sequence is given. Actually, this 011, 011, 0010 is a transmitted bit sequence, and it is represented using baseband signaling. Zeros are represented by negative amplitude pulses, and 1 is represented by positive pulses. But because of channel distortion, waveform is distorted, and at the output of the receiver, the signal appears something like this. It is given in the part A of the figure, and here part B of the figure displays the corresponding synchronized superposition of the waveforms 10 binary symbol intervals. So, here the part B, it gives the corresponding eye pattern. Here what you have to do is you have to consider these pulses of duration Tb, and these 10 pulses are overlapped. So, it is called as synchronized superposition. So, each pulse of duration Tb is taken and it is overlapped, which is called as synchronized superposition, and this results in a pattern, something called as eye pattern, and it resembles the human eye. Therefore, it is called as eye pattern. Okay, next let us analyze the eye pattern using this diagram. Here the x axis or horizontal axis represents time, and vertical axis it represents the amplitude, and total symbol period is TB seconds, and this interior region of the eye pattern is called as eye opening, and the width of the eye opening defines the time interval over which we can sample the received signal without any error from intersymbol interference. So, it is given as time interval over which the wave can be sampled, and then distortion at sampling time and distortion of zero crossings are also shown, and timing error sensitivity is determined by the rate at which the eye pattern is closed as the sampling time is varied. So, this is defined as slope equal to sensitivity to timing error. Then if eye pattern is completely closed, then effect of ISI is severe. So, ISI effect, it reduces the eye opening. So, if pattern is completely closed, then there is a severe intersymbol interference, but usually opening of 50% and above is required for reliable data communication, and the extent of eye opening at the optimum sampling time, it gives a measure of the operating margin over channel noise. So, it is marked as margin over noise. Thus, we can make visual interpretation of the data and intersymbol interference effect using this eye pattern. So, this is the importance of eye pattern in analyzing the effect of intersymbol interference. Okay, these points are discussed in the last slide. Just go through. Okay, next is design of band limited signals for 0 ISI, the Nyquist criterion. Here definition is very important, proof is not required. As we know, the received signal at the output of the receiving filter is represented as y of t, and equation for this y of t is y of t equal to summation n equal to minus infinity to plus infinity a n x of t minus n into capital T plus v of t, and here x of t defines the pulse shape, and in time domain x of t is given as gt of t convolution with c of t convolution with gr of t, and Fourier transform of this signal can be written as x of f equal to gt of f into c of f into gr of f. So, as we discussed previously, gt of f and gr of f denotes the frequency response of transmitter and receiver filter, and c of f denotes the frequency response of the channel. And here now our aim is to construct the overall pulse shape of x of t. If this pulse shape is proper, then we can reconstruct the original data stream at the receiver section. That means, now signaling over the band limited channel becomes distortionless. Hence, we can consider this pulse shaping as a signal design. Okay, next the output of the receiving filter sampled at t equal to mt can be written as ym equal to x0 into am plus summation n equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of mt minus nt into an plus v of mt. To remove the effect of ISI, we should make the second term 0. Therefore, it is necessary and sufficient that x of mt minus nt equal to 0 for n not equal to m, and for n equal to m we will get x0, and this x0 must be 1. Therefore, weighted pulse contribution x of mt minus nt into an must be 0 for n not equal to m, and for n equal to m x of 0 must be 1. If we can satisfy this condition, then effect of ISI can be removed. Then the overall communication system has to be designed such that x of nt equal to 1 for n equal to 0, and x of nt equal to 0 for n not equal to 0. Okay, next here definition of Nyquist condition for 0 ISI is given. This condition is also called as Nyquist pulse shaping criterion. A necessary and sufficient condition for x of t to satisfy x of nt equal to 1 for n equal to 0 and 0 for n not equal to 0 is that its Fourier transform x of f satisfies summation m equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of f plus m by t equal to t. So, a pulse that satisfies this condition is called as a Nyquist pulse, and basically it is a sinc function, and this condition is called as Nyquist criterion for 0 ISI. So, this frequency function x of f, it eliminates intersymbol interference for samples taken at interval t if it satisfies the condition summation m equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of f plus m by t equal to t. So, this is about the Nyquist pulse shaping criterion. So, in today's session we have discussed about signal design for band limited channels, then I pattern, and finally we have defined the Nyquist pulse shaping criterion. In the next session we will discuss the remaining topics. Thank you.